Now let's get into Copilot for Microsoft Teams. For this demo, I'm leading a regional market expansion into Singapore. Multiple stakeholders are invited from finance, legal, operations, and executive leadership. Discussions are happening across channels and meetings, and executive visibility is high. So here's the situation. Sarah Smith, my COO, has just asked for a clear update in the channel on where we stand with the Q3 timeline, budget, and any outstanding risks. I've already pulled together some rough dot points covering the key issues. It's all there, but it reads like my internal notes rather than something I would send to the COO. So I'll paste my notes into the Teams message box. But instead of pressing send, I'll click the rewrite with Copilot icon. That's this pen icon with the stars around it. When I click on it, a panel pops up and Copilot rewrites the message. This is already a significant improvement. It's cleaner and more structured. But for a COO who's tracking this expansion closely, I want it to sound even more polished. I'll get Copilot to help me with this by clicking on the adjust card in the panel. This gives me a few options. I can type a custom instruction, or I can use the preset adjustments. Make it concise, longer, casual, professional, confident, or enthusiastic. For this, I'll click professional. Now Copilot will rewrite it again. And notice that it's tracking versions. I can see I'm on the second version out of the two. If I preferred the first version, I could go back to it. This reads well now. It's clear, structured, and appropriate for the audience. So I'll click replace, which swaps my original rough notes in the message box with Copilot's polished version. And I'll send it. The whole process took maybe 30 seconds, and I went from casual dot points to an executive-ready update without rewriting it myself. For this next demo, I'm going to join a Microsoft Teams meeting. In this case, the APAC Expansion Steering Committee, and I'm joining late. Once I'm in, I can see a pop-up asking if I want to see what I've missed. It's suggesting I ask Copilot to recap the meeting so far. I'll click Open Copilot and it automatically runs a prompt asking to recap the meeting. In the Copilot pane on the right, I can get a full summary of everything that's been discussed before I joined. Now, one important thing to understand here is that Copilot in Teams isn't just reading the live meeting transcript. It can also draw from the pre-meeting chat in the channel. So if people were sharing context, raising questions, or flagging concerns in the chat before the meeting started, Copilot has that too. It's working from both sources, which means the recap is much more complete than what's just been said aloud. Now I want to dig into something specific. I'll ask what risks to the Singapore launch were mentioned. Copilot will assess both the meeting's transcript and the pre-meeting chat and come back with all the risks that have been explicitly raised so far. I now have a clear view of the risk discussions, even though I wasn't there for it. I've been in the meeting for a while now, and I feel like there's still some open decisions, but I'm not exactly sure what. So I'll ask Copilot, what decisions need to be made? Copilot thinks through everything that's been discussed and identifies the outstanding decisions. I can raise these before the meeting wraps up and make sure nothing gets left unresolved. Now, earlier I heard someone mention concerns around the budget, but I can't remember who it was. It might have been in the meeting itself, or it might have been in the pre-meeting chat. So I'll ask Copilot, who raised concerns about the budget? Copilot tells me it was Jane Lee and summarizes what she said. I want to get even more specific now. So I'll say, cite what Jane mentioned specifically about the budget. And Copilot will give me her actual words with references back to where they came from. I now have direct quotes I can reference if this comes up again. The meeting is now wrapping up, and it went well, but I need to draft a follow-up message summarizing the decisions and action items for the Singapore market entry channel. So I'll ask Copilot, draft a follow-up message for the channel summarizing the key decisions and action items from this meeting. Copilot will draft a channel-ready message grounded in everything from the meeting and the pre-meeting chat. I'll review it, copy it, and post it in the Teams channel. Okay, so the meeting's done, I've been to lunch, and now I need to go back through it. Check the action items, review who said what, and put together a summary for the executive leadership team. So I'll go into Teams, double-click in the meeting, and open the meeting page. Right away, I can see a Copilot-generated recap alongside the meeting details. I'll click View Recap. This shows me an AI-generated summary of the meeting, including meeting notes and follow-up tasks. This is useful, but I want something more specific. At the top, next to the AI Summary tab, there's a Custom Summary button, so I'll click on that. From here, I can either create my own template for a custom summary or use one of the Copilot suggested formats, which are Speaker Summary or Executive Report. In this case, I want to know exactly what every speaker said during the meeting, so I'll click Speaker Summary. Copilot will generate a clean breakdown, showing each speaker with a summary of their contributions. If I need to check what a specific person raised or committed to, it's all here without scrubbing through the recording. Now I also need to send a concise summary to the executive leadership team. I'll click the Copilot button in the top right to open the chat and ask, summarize this meeting in 5 bullet points for executive leadership. Now Copilot will generate a focused executive summary. I can see the source tags as well, just like the other apps that we saw earlier, so I can verify where each point came from. Between the auto-generated recap, the custom speaker summary, and the ability to ask targeted questions in the Copilot chat, I've got everything I need from this meeting without having taken a single note during it.